Hey coaches, we are now offering membership on our YouTube channel. Okay, if you're watching on desktop, you can hit the join button below. If you're watching on mobile, we have a comment pinned with a link to the membership area. We also have a link in the description of this video. Enjoy the toss sweep video. It's a great play. Highly recommend you install it. Hey coaches, here's a look at our heavy left 27 toss play. All right, when we say heavy left, our right tackle lines up to the left. We say heavy right, our left tackle lines up to the right, and our tight end's opposite. It's just tackle over, guys. All right, so we bring a three-man blocking surface to the play side. We put one of our better players over here. Okay, our tackles are probably our best overall linemen. So we're putting two of our best linemen on one side and running that way. So it really creates alignment conflict for the defense. And then, we could kind of outnumber them on the edge here. And we also have some players that could step play side and cut off the pursuit. All right, so let's get into the play. We're going to start. We'll start here. The center, anytime he has double A-gap defenders, he's always going to block the backside A-gap. On toss, most teams will just have their players kind of reach block or step to the play side, reach, and then climb. Okay, we just stick to our blocking rules like we would on any play where the center is going to block the backside A-gap defender. Okay, we do it like this because it keeps it simple for our kids. Okay, he could very well step and reach this kid. He could step. If you can't reach him, we'll just climb to backside backer. You can. We just stick to our block. We try to have as least blocking rules as possible so it keeps things simple and allows our players to play fast. And our blocking for the play side and the back side when we are not pulling is inside over free. He has an inside gap defender. He's going to step play side. We're going to base him. There's no one inside. There's no one over. He's getting free. Okay, he's going to work. We're going to try to cut off the Mike linebacker coming back. Now our right tackle, inside over free blocking roll. So he has an inside gap defender. He's going to step play side and block. Sorry. Just draw this up right here. Oh, man. Yikes. Yeah, good enough. You get it. All right, so he's going to step play side and block. A lot of times he won't have an inside gap defender. Against the 6'2", a lot of times he will have that C-gap defender, so he'd have to block down on him. So we'll block down there. Our split end, we'll crack on the middle linebacker here. And our wing will arc. Outside leverage, he is going to seal this right outside linebacker, defensive end, whatever you want to call him. All right, against the 6'2". Our jet, let's go inside over free. Inside over, he could base him, or you could have this tight end climb to the safety. All right, so you could do that. You could have him climb, try to get that safety since all these guys really don't matter on the play. All right, now, how we run our toss, okay? We run it on 2. Our snap count's red, set, go. Okay, so we run a lot of jet sweep on 1. So it'll be red, set, go. Guy's about here. When he's in motion, ball snap, we go. On toss, we go on 2. So it'll be red, set, go. His motion continues. Continues to about here. Red, set, go. Go, ball snap. He is going to lead block outside. Okay, this is a nice change up to our jet sweep. A lot of times they'll time our snap count, so when we go on the second go, they'll jump off sides. We did actually have a problem twice where we had big runs called back or blown dead because they jumped off sides. So you could go on 2 if you want, or what you can do, there was one game actually where this would have scored, definitely, but they jumped off sides, so they blew it dead late, and we got 5 yards out of it versus 60. So, you don't have to go on 2. You could have your quarterback just look at him, and then when the quarterback can't see the motion player anymore, then have him snap it. So you don't risk your own kids jumping off sides, or you don't risk the defense jumping off sides and you not getting a big play because of it. So there's 2 options there. Personally, we always would just run it on 2. But we're thinking about changing it to just having the QB look at him. And then when he's about here, we'll start red, set, go. And then have him lead block. All right, so what that does, guys, if the defense doesn't adjust to the motion, then you're going to outnumber them outside, right? You're going to outnumber them here. So a lot of times they don't account for this motion back. and then we just toss it out to our two back, and we got an extra lead blocker. Okay, you could lead him, motion him out, and have him run a pass. If no one runs with him, he'll be wide open. There's a lot you can do when you're motioning across and motioning your right wing to the left side or vice versa, and they don't match. You'll have a +1 in the passing game or a blocker in the run game. But let's get to our toss from 2. Okay, his job is to get the ball and go outside. Obviously, we don't want to belly this too far back in the backfield, because if we're too far back, it's it's going to take a while for we even break the line of scrimmage. So on our toss path, we want to just stay flat. We want to catch the ball out here. The quarterback's job is to get a good toss out here, because if you toss the ball and he catches it out here, then you only have to worry about if he catches it. Let's say he catches it right on the hash. So let's follow the hash up the screen. We only have to really worry about defenders around the hash, right? That's not even half the defense. You block two or three guys, you'll get a big play. And then if they like to blitz this kid, if they like to blitz this kid, he's going to get caught up inside, and you don't even need to block him, really. So, his play is pretty nasty. So now the quarterback's going to get the snap. He's going to take his right foot. He's going to plant. He is going to be square to the back he's pitching to. Okay, he's going to follow through and pitch. Now, it's very important that your two back looks the ball in. Okay, there is a risk of dropping a pitch, especially on the younger age levels when that pitch is really far out there. Sometimes the back will take his eye off the ball. It is youth football. You even see in college and pro, sometimes they'll drop a pitch. So make sure the two looks that ball in, secures it, and then looks to get outside. Now, another tip real quick, so don't forget to say the motion player cannot go or lean forward until the ball is snapped. Okay, so keep that in mind. Make sure he stays flat on his motion. Then once the ball's snapped, he's attacking the outside shoulder of this cornerback. All right, sometimes the cornerback will be close on the line. Okay, so make sure he doesn't stay too flat. He could climb and get a little depth in the backfield, so it will give him a better blocking angle of the corner. So it really depends how the corners align. But he cannot go or lean forward until the ball snaps. All right, so he's going to lead block. Now, quarterback's going to open up, going to turn so his hips are square to where he's pitching the ball. And you want your hips square because you don't want your quarterback pitching around his hip or around his foot. So like when the quarterback opens, his hips are completely square, square to where he's pitching, so he could just pitch, right from his hip pocket and then follow through. Okay, you don't want him to have to pitch around his feet because his feet aren't square. Okay, I hope that makes sense for you guys. Follow through on the pitch, and then you could have him fake a bootleg or something. Our split end's gonna crack the outside linebacker, well, the inside linebacker on the 6-2. Maybe I'll draw this up against a 5-3 for you guys too while we're here. I think the film I'm going to show you is against 6-2, but I'll draw it against a 5-3. So this is the same blocking rules it would be if it was a 4-4. Okay, where this kid's off the ball and he's inside a little bit, nothing changes. He'd still block him, he'd still work down. Okay, so 6-2, 4-4, essentially the same thing. The only difference is the two guys on the line, right? There's 6 on the line versus 4. So these two will bump back, and then you got a 4-4, right? So essentially the same thing. And against the 5-3, I'll draw that up for you too. It's essentially playing like a 3-5 too. The only difference is in the 5-3, your DNs are kind of boxing, they're on the line. In the 3-5, those outside contained players are a little bit off in their linebacker types. Right, so split end's going to crack this inside backer. The 3 is going to arc and seal. Okay, the 3 needs to take a nice outside leverage step. Work to get to that outside shoulder, flip his hips, and wall off the outside. Okay, if this is your sidelines, you should see the name on the back of this kid's jersey. Okay, he's got a leverage step, work to win the leverage, and wall off this kid, and then obviously run his feet. All right, split end's going to crack. We're going to arc here. 4 is going to tunnel the corner. I'm going to get a quick toss outside. All right, so let's disregard how these are labeled. Obviously, this isn't the strong safety. This isn't a nickel back. Okay, this is the outside linebacker, middle linebacker, outside linebacker, and then the stand-up end. So we got a 5-3 here. He's going up here. It's that play side. He's basing here. Inside over free. Guys, I love this program, but it's like super sensitive. That's why it's like I'm messing this up every time I do it. It's very sensitive. 3-back's going to arc. He's going to seal. And the split end is going to crack. And then this guy actually against the 5-3, he needs to work back. A lot of times this guard won't be able to cut him off. So, and if he can't cut him off, okay, let's say the left guard can't get there, don't chase him, work back. Okay, and then if there's no one back, then we climb. All right, so if this linebacker, even let's say the right tackle, can't get there, the Mike outruns it, or as soon as you do motion, he runs, don't chase him. Okay, just work back to the next kid. If there's no one back, you climb up. All right, but yeah, that's the toss against the 5-3. Make sure this split end doesn't take any false steps. You don't want him stepping up and then down. Okay, you want him going boom right down here and then maintain outside leverage. And you do have to be careful with the crack block guys because it could be a defenseless player or a blindside block. They will probably call that in my league, so you're not going to see our split ends decleating kids. But make sure you cheat the split end. Takes a good angle down, no false movements. And then you just break down. As soon as you're about to crack him, you just break down in front of him, and then you turn and block him. He's going to open up his hips and run downhill to this eventually. So if you break down right before him, he'll probably have his hips already broken down, and then you just, boom, you just kind of wall him off. So it really depends on your league's blocking rules. Like I said, they would consider that a crackback block or a defenseless player. If we decleated them, they might call it in our league. So it really depends on the league. We're just going to crack down. We have a great angle to wall off, and we're going to wall off, and then that's that. All right, guys. I do have a game clip for you.